Good morning and welcome to another edition of our preview for today's racing. Today racing is from the VAAL. Before we start doing our preview, we just want to mention a few things. This preview is brought to you by Outsider Genie. What our goal is, we want to give you as the punter the um, the insight into selecting outsiders and help you find outsiders that you can put into your play, and thereby collecting the more lucrative payouts. Before we go further, I just want to mention that we are looking for a sponsor for this daily preview. So if you are looking to get some exposure for your business, please talk to us. We also got to subscribe. You can also subscribe to our form analysis. I don't see myself as a tipster. I'm a form analyzer. I analyze form, and then by analyzing the form, I then get my selections. So what you get when you subscribe, you get the race by race selection, outright winner and two possible outsider selections, value bet to play each way, normally 6-1 and better. Best bet of the day. I don't give odds on that, you can find for yourself. I try and give my best bets value, decent value. I have been giving best bets for the day as high as 6-1, which has won. And then I give you a suggested trifecta and quartet selections that you can play. Some of my quartets I have paid quite a nice amount for a layout of 360. I always give 6 horses box, and then you can play it to your percentage that you are comfortable with. I always give PAs. The PAs normally between 48 and 96, but not higher than 96. Recently, I gave a 36 rand PA that won 16 times and paid 180 rand. The people collected 2,880. Then I also give affordable pick six, normally between 96 and 150 rand for 1%, and then you can pay that, or you can add on to that as you see fit. All right, we are now launching a special offer for leading up to the Durban July. If you subscribe now for this 400 rand from now till the end of July, you will share in our Vodacom Durban special. Of the 400 rand, 300 rand, 100 rand will go to the subscription, will go on July day, um, 50% to a pick six, 25% to PA, and 25% to jackpot. And then we will play and post tickets on special group that I will set up, and then any profit to be divided between subscribers. For Durban July, I'm planning the following. Yes, I managed to talk to Pierre Strydom, and he's going to give us on a voice note a race by race preview of the day's races on Vodacom Durban July. And we will try and give that to you a day or two before in order to work out your selections. Then we're going to do our general preview on non-pick six races. That will be posted on our normal groups, but the following will only be available to subscribers. You will receive this a day or two before the race, in race day, in order to work out your selections. A race by race preview of all pick six races, where I will discuss individual horses' chances and point you to possible runners to include in your play. In other words, there will be 6 videos. You will also receive a race by race selection, suggested trifectas, quartets, bipods, pick 6 PAs, and jackpot selection. And you can call me on 083 585 5133. Okay, then let's move on to yesterday's results. Let's have a look on what happened yesterday. You can't just believe it. Oh yeah, there we go. Now, I don't normally tip juveniles races. The first 3 was juvenile races. I just want to point out something, and maybe you can learn something from this. In the second race, number 1, Burning Wings, was priced up 7-10 by the bookmakers. Now, I don't know, and Marcus was riding it, and this poor Anton Marcus, whenever he is on a horse, then that gets priced up, favored, as if he can, you know, can't be beaten. And I think it's tough for him these days. He used to be able to find the top stables, top rides, but I mean, we all know that is not happening anymore. So, he's also just, phoning around for rides and get whatever is available, trying to get the best horse, but it's not always the best horse. So, for people who take 7-10 on a 2-year-old, I can't understand it, because when I looked at the card, I even thought that Celeste Love might be a better proposition, because that ran second to a horse that ran in the future on Saturday at Scottsville in Alan Robertson fillies. So I would have never taken 17. And guys, when you do a punt, watch out for the bookmakers. They want to take your money. But what we did tip was, in this race, I did tip Upermico, and I also tipped Cantatata Choir. The exacta paid 18 Rand, nice bet that you could have had. So that is what we tipped number 7 to win, and number 10 Cantata Choir was our outsider. But he was like 5 to 1, and he was a bit of money, and I see he eventually landed up to tote favorite. Then in race 5, we got a bit of a beating here. Of course, number hop, skip, and jump won its maiden last time, and I normally don't play horses that just out of a maiden. I've got in the past, and I'm probably going to get some hidings in the future, but that's just one of the rules that I stick to, because 7 out of 10 they will not win, but this was the 3 out of 10 where they did win after the maiden, and yeah, that's what happened. But what I want to mention is, in my preview, I did mention that you need to put in Pretty Jolly in all your play. It did ran second. It paid 3 Rand to place, which is a nice payout. And then my first choice was Matadora's Parade, but that was too far out and came too late. Then in the 7th race, my play was number 6, 5, and 4. They ran 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Riley was coming through, and it looks like he was going to be able to collar Diamonds and Pearls, but Diamonds and Pearls held on. But even in a place, Riley paid 5 Rand a place. That was a nice outsider. So if you put that together with number 12, you would have gotten a quartet of 1,500 Rand. Then I just want to mention, in the last race, my number 9, Joyful Winter, was one of our value bets for the day. It was 11 to 2 at that stage. And then I also gave number 5, Bells and Whistles. That ran second. The quartet after exacta paid 79 Rand and 10 cents. We also had our Blue Winter in our selection. So the trifecta paid 400 Rand for that. Unfortunately, when in my quartet, I left out number 8, but maybe you could have put in number 8, and then you would have collected 2,527. So that is that. So let's go to the racing today at the VAAL. I'm going to kick off around the first race, because the first 2 races is juveniles again. So let us quickly look at the betting. Just waiting for the thing to open up. I apologize, because before I even start, I make sure the screen is working. It is there, but yeah, sometimes it just takes a while. Unfortunately, my computer hasn't got a lot of memory. I need a new computer, but I haven't got money to buy that yet. All right, so in the third race, we got 11 to 20 Dark Tide, 4 to 1 Pinda Mazala, Gaze Angel 7 to 1, Visiway 16, 20 to 5 to 1, and better the rest. So let's look at the race. Yeah, this race is not a strong race. I think number 1, Dark Tide, should be able to win this race. I tried to find something that can beat him, but yeah, there's not a lot of horses of strong form in this race. But sometimes this is the problem of a race like this. You don't find something, if you think that this is the best bet of the day, and then something goes wrong, the horse gets balked or something, and then he gets run out of the placings or whatever. So let's quickly look at a few horses in this race that you might want to include. Number 2, Forbes Quarry, has been running a few places, might be worth putting in the back end of your quartets or for 3rd or 4th. I do like the look of number 3, Captain of All. This horse is improving after the race. It won 2.95 behind top line, and yeah, that is definitely an improver in the race. Then let's look at a few other ones. There's not much of the ones that you currently hear, but I want to scroll down to number 12. Has run a good second. might be involved in the finish. And then number 14, Vision Way, also in with a chance, might be improving. Um, uh, it was a reserve runner, but never got a run. So after the rest, Marco Ashley Stable is in form, and this might be an improvement that you can include into your play. So let's move on to the fourth race. The fourth race, also local knowledge 2-1, Western Park 72, Light Warrior 92, number 9, Nas Plies, Pierre Strydom 9-1, Forever Light 9-1, number 1, Butler Beers 16-1. Ash is the first timer from Sins and Grey. You never know what they're going to do, 16-1 and 25-1, and better the field. So let's look at race number 4. Also another strong maiden plate Ash in race 4. It does look like number 1, number 4, the favorite, has got a strong chance in his Australian breed, Strydom. It battled, it ran a decent first race, and then second race, I don't know what went wrong there. It was November, and then the horse came down after the break, but it was gelded subsequently. It's getting -1.5, and yeah, this could go in. So let's look at a few other runners in this race. Number 1, Butler Mears, is improving. He's running places. I have tried it over various distances, but it seems that the distance now 16 between 14 and 1600 meters. That run is 2 last races in work riders, but in both cases he was fastest 400 to finish, although not in fast times. So yeah, we must take that with a pinch of salt, I would think. Then let's look at some other selections in this race. Western Park, it hasn't shown. The best race was when he ran behind Captain Morgan, but it's not really shaping at the moment. Then Lord Greatham was recently purchased by Dennis Cation, has run a third over 11-16. Yeah, today, yeah, you have to see how this horse improves. Was also bought off the Gary Grant Maroon sale in December. So this horse was also probably destined for Kimberley, but since Kimberley is now closed down, now your horse has to run back here in Joburg. Here's the first time at Atchison Sarge by Ford with St. John Grey. This can be anything, so maybe you should just include that into your play. Number 8, Light Warrior, has had a nice introduction to racing. It ran 2.75 behind top line. It had all kinds of problems and still managed to finish 400 to finish 23.7. And I really do think that this horse you mustn't leave out of your calculations. So definitely a horse to put in. And then number 9, Nice Play. Indigo Magic by Nuela out of Richmond's Gold. And this is Strydom is riding this one. Had his first race. Didn't fare too bad. It's 23.7, 400 to finish, and can be involved in the finish, especially with Pierre Strydom on. So that is then race 4. Let's move on to race number 5. I just wanted to mention number 12, Forever Light. I forgot about that. That they're also improving. Also the form behind top line. It looks like that we're gonna check. We can see how this form is gonna work out behind top line. Number 4, Liquid, a 2-year-old, made his debut, but didn't show much. We'll have to wait for improvement. So then let's now move on to race number 5. Race number 5 is also a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting is as follows. Number 5, Flashlight 12-10. Fear of missing out, FOMO. That I learned from my daughter. One day she talked about FOMO. I said, what is that? She said, no, that's fear of missing out. So fear of missing out, 4-1, 7-1, last going west. Incognito 9-1, Showdown Kid 9-1, Apple Drop, and the rest 20-1 and longer. So let's look at race number 5. yeah, there's a lot of the first three races of the pick six are short price favorites. Number one, Incognito, also a ex-Grand Maroon horse. Pierre Strydom is riding for Dennis Kaysen. He don't ride often for them. This horse has been placed in February over the VAAL, so has got possibilities, can come up. Number two, Apple Drop has had one run but didn't show much. But I do believe that this breeding, this Apple Fair, um, is from a good family. So watch this horse for improvement. Then this first timer version Getrix first timer out of a count to base me can be anything. Keep maybe pop that into the back end of your quartets. You never know. Right, then we move on to the favorite Flashlight. Flashlight had only a one run, and it's a 5-year-old me. So making a debut, it's not often that you see a 5-year-old me making a debut and then still run second. But the problem is now you need to see if this horse is going to reproduce this run. And I've seen so often, I think 6 out of 10 times when a horse run a good first race, then he comes out next time out and fluff its line. So definitely not a horse that I would put my house on. 6 Lightning Lash, I would have liked to include that, but that has been subsequently scratched. I think the improver of the race can be this number 7, Showdown Kit. Showdown Kit has had 2 races, and last time out did show a little bit of improvement behind Mind Reader, and I think during the break she could have actually improved. Nicely bred. It's a VAAL out of a 4-wood mare, and Saturday Dancing, if I'm not mistaken, also won a few races. Definitely one to look out for. Then another horse that you might want to include in your quartets in the back ends is this horse of St. John, the Pines. I'm sure that this horse can improve. Did have to run, showed a little bit of speed, but ran out of it the last 200 meters. Today can then probably, you know, uh, this run would have brought him on. So include into your play. In number 9, Fear of Missing Out, FOMO. Yes, FOMO. Uh, it had a first race behind Winter Smoke. If you keep in mind, Winter Smoke won by 8.5 lengths or something like that. And then also ran in the future. So Fear of Missing Out can be anything, but it's also very well bred. A Captain L out of a Galileo mare. What a breeding. So on breeding alone, not a horse that you can discard it. Then I've got this horse, Frosted Ice. I see this horse is like, I just want to show you Frosted Ice. It's like 45 to 1. Now, if I were you, I will include this because this horse is 57, getting -4, ran 2 races. The first time was 15 lengths behind, and then uh, after the break, we had his first race behind Java House, and then improved last time, 7 lengths behind Rises one. You guys need to watch Romeo Francis. Romeo's horses will run here and there, and then all of a sudden you'll start catching they're catching form, and then they win at long prices. If you can afford it in your pick six today, do add it in your pick six. It can definitely come up on you. So this is then I just want to quickly yeah. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Number 12, Lash Going West. He's also a horse that I fancy. He's a captain of all. And he's been throwing quite a few nice horses and winners by Western Winter Me. I'm sure this horse is going to improve. Last time out, 23.3, 400 to finish. And it got bumped and was green. And I'm sure this horse is going to run an improved race. So definitely keep an eye out for this horse. Then another one that I want to mention is number 14, Madam Magnolia. Now, Madam Magnolia is a first timer, but I see those horses not in the betting. It's down here at 20 to 1. But I can tell you now, I'm breeding alone a Duke of Marmalade mare out of a trippy, Duke of Marmalade out of a trippy mare, and it's a filly. There's a thing going around that's saying that the fillies of Duke Marmalade is better than the Colts and Galvins. So this is a first timer. Lucky the Larkers. He's got Matthew Thackeray on. So maybe you want to throw that into your quartets if you want to, but keep an eye out for this first time. And I'm sure if it doesn't show much today, it will be improving in the future. So then we move on to the sixth race. It's a 1400 meters, merit 88 handicap. Just for the record, this is a Class B event with an average merit rating of 85. So when you start doing selections, you would be looking for horses that is run in better class. Now I found such a horse which I will discuss with you just now. Number one, Dan the Lad. This guy, he always runs well on the VAAL. This course and distance, 5 runs, 1 win, 1 second, but over the distance has had 3 wins. He won that one of those big races where they had like 250 runners. Now I'm only joking, where they had 25 runners spread over the field. And also in February, he won on the Turfontein 1450. This is the distance that he like. He's down in class. If you look here, he's been campaigning against 108, 196, 99, 97. So definitely down in class. The only thing he's carrying 63. But there's always a danger horse can come up anytime at long odds. Last time out, he came up at 50 to 1. I had a few rand win on him that day at 50 to 1 when he won there. Then the horse that I found is Roy Tom. Now, if you have a look at Roy Tom's form, it doesn't look inspiring, but now let's look at the last 3 races. Got the green light, won the Derby, and then he came out in Natal and won a future there. He was only 9 lengths behind, average merit rating of 103. He's now running in an average merit rating of 85. Last time out, he ran in the 80s in the same class. He ran a second and a fourth. So definitely a horse that you cannot exclude. Then Lady of Steel also ran in the future, won 5 times in a row, average merit rating of 99. Then last time out, it ran in a 94 behind full mast after the break. This is his third run after the break. He's carrying 62.5 -4. And full mast came out and ran in a future, I think the other day in a nice, wasn't it Wolf Tower Stakes or something? It ran third day. And the big thing is, they're betting this horse. You're never going to believe this. They're betting this horse, Roy Tom, at 25 to 1. Guys, even if you play this each way, you're going to get 4 places on this horse. You cannot go wrong, because I'm telling you, Roy Tom will be involved in a finish. I'm very sure about that. So that might be a very, very nice outsider. But let's just look at the betting. I forgot to look at the betting. I was so excited to tell you about Roy Tom. I forgot to do the betting. Express from the US 3 to 1. Greek Fire 92. I'll talk about Greek Fire now, as well just now. 5 to 1 Pop Icon. Ballon d'Or 6 to 1. Tokyo Drift 10 to 1. Dandelion 12 to 1. Rock of Africa 12 to 1. Solarize 12 to 1. East in Blue 20 to 1, and longer the rest. So let's move back to the race. It's going to be a very interesting race here, a very open race. Then here we get into Greek Fire. Now, Greek Fire cost 3 billion rand as a yearling. Now, guys, if you want to pay 3 million rand as for a horse, this horse must be a looker. You're not going to fork out 3 million rand. But I think the reality is the chances that this horse ever making up that money is very slim. It so far it managed to get back 10% of that price, but good luck to the owner. He took his chances, but maybe it's not working out for him, because this is a very well-bred horse, Dynasty by Garland. She's thrown some champion horses. But the thing of Greek Fire has won 570 days since last win. But now look at here. 94, 98, 106, 102, 108, 93, 91, 89. This horse has forgot to win last. He ran in a class like he's running in today. And he's always there. 1.2 lengths, 3.9, 5.5, 5.5, 2.7 behind full mast. Now, they ran in the 22s. He ran 9th, and Roy Tom ran just behind him, 5.75, and he was 4.65. 56 and a half, 55. So there was a kilogram in difference. Now today, this horse is carrying 62 minus 4, 58 and a half. 58 and a half. This one is carrying 60. So there's 2.5 kilograms to turn around for 5.7, 4.8, about a length, plus minus a length. But the thing is, Greek fire is 92. So how can you have 92 Greek fire? In theory, he cannot beat Roy Tom at 25 to 1. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I'm not pricing up. I'm not a bookmaker. Maybe they know something. I don't know. But all I know is that Roy Tom will be definitely a nice each way bet. And that's also then, so yeah, let's move on. The Pop Icon has been there and thereabouts, but it's been running in a little bit lower division. Last time behind Last of Legend, late effort, 23.7 for fastest, can be involved. Definitely with Strydom up, maybe must have a small chance. Then this also, I want to talk about 7 Patriots. This also is also by Azzy. And guys, keep in mind, the Azzy staple is in form. That's always something you must also keep in mind when a horse is in form. So here the horse ran his first 4 races. He won a nice race, and then he ran behind Marshall Falk. Marshall Falk has now won 3 races in a row, came second on Saturday, then came out at 40 to 1 over the 60mm in the VAAL Classic, beating Just Kidding by 2 lengths. And then what happened, they not striding out 50 lengths, and then came back again behind Basan, and then 2 weeks ago behind Last of a Legend, no finish. But keep an eye on, put this horse in the back end of your quartets. It is definitely a horse with some ability, I can assure you that. So another horse that I want to talk about is Etched in Blue. Now, Etched in Blue, it's carrying 55. Now, the Fortunes are no fools, and they took this horse to Cape Town. This horse won its maiden quite easily, beating Inside Politics, but it was in a work riders. And I think everybody was laughing. Then I took this horse to run in that race in Cape Town, which was won by Pierre Strydom, only 2.7 behind. Look at that, 90 average rating, 86 average rating behind Count Jack. Count Jack won that big $1,500,000 race, $500,000 race. And since then, this horse came back, took a rest, and I'm sure, look at it, the training oratorio out of a chippy me, -2.5. This horse is definitely going to be a danger in this race. Right, let's move on. Here's the favorite, 10 Express from the US. Still have to run in this class. It's only its second run behind, after winning his races. Was beaten by Creation last time out in a lower division. I don't know, maybe I'm a fool, but I can't see this horse win this race. But maybe I'll have cake in my face after the race, but I don't think so. Then Tartan Dancer, he's always, he pops up when expected the least, but I don't think today will be his day. So let's then move on to the Ballon d'Or also, as running, against a little bit stronger Frosted Gold. Marshall, definitely a horse to include into your play. I do think I like the look of this horse. Won its first race quite comfortably, and has been running in a few futures here and there. So definitely in with a chance, Ballon d'Or. All right, then there we are, Creation, that's still currently a reserve runner. So then let's move on to the next race, which is the 7th race, and that is Felicia Mays handicap 90, 1400 meters. Here we're working on a Class C with a merit rating of 78. Now, we look at number 1, give it a green light out of Jalet Meer. As I said, this race is being run over a 1400 meters. Here, just want to confirm that. It's run over the 1400 meters. This horse, number 1, hasn't run over the 14 meters. It's coming off a race, but I do think on this breeding that number 1, Emerald Tiara, will be involved. I'll come back to it now. I just want to quickly let us have a look at the betting first. Number 9, Flaming Duchess, 26 to 10. 72 Rouge Allure. Okay, that was a little bit shorter earlier. 8-1 Give Me Hope, Joanna. 8-1 X and O's. 9-1 Study Court. 11-1 Comanche. Swept Up My Feet. 13-1 Lady of Liberty. 14 Heart of a Legend. 14 Emerald Tiara 16, and 40-1 and more the rest. So let's get back to this horse. So now they're trying it over a little bit longer. Has beat the Ring of Fire, which is not a donkey. Basadi 5 has won a few races. Palace of Dreams has came out again. There's Basadi 5 Before the Dawn, also a good horse. So this horse might be able to finish in the placings. A nice horse at 16-1 for your quartet. Then number 2, Sweep Off My Feet, Pierre Strydom, has won 2 races, and then somehow the wheels fall off. But just in all fairness, there he ran against a stronger field, Milk Queen, and then All of Me and Rocking Russia. That's all strong fields. So back in class can be involved in the finish, because this is a class 73. So Sweep Off My Feet, maybe you want to include that, especially with Strydom on, who's having a nice run. Now, I think the Free Rougelet, in my mind, this is the horse to beat. If you look at what this horse has run against: Celtic Sea, Riverstown, Saint of Evening, Fritchie by Far, Secret Queen, Dream, Gaelic Princess, Lady of Steel, Running Brave. You know, look at this: 90, 84, 90, 101, 95, 90, 93. This horse is down in class. Got a very good jockey on board. Has been coming down the ratings, mid ratings slowly. At one stage was 100, it's now 87. I think in this race, the horse to beat. Sally Cole is a front runner and always seems to run out of steam now and then. She stays on. Yeah, what's going to happen today? That is an open question. Give Me Hope, Joanna. Jacqueline won with it last time out, but will have to run well to repeat, but did win well, so can go in again. This League of Her Own, I really liked this horse when she was younger, but I see the wheels has come off a little bit, but wait for improvement. I do think it's a horse with ability and might pick up a race in the future soon. Lady of Liberty, Lady of Liberty ran in other classes, but was comprehensively beaten last week behind Gaelic Princess, was never in the race. And even with the -4, I think we'll battle to win in this race today. Comanensi, always there and thereabouts. And then here we are, Flaming Dutch. Ran second to Give Me Hope, and then got Now You See Me ran third. It's the third run after the break. Can be fitter and is the favorite. Has run against not really against the same class as Rouge Allure, so that's why my preference is still Rouge Allure. Heart of a Legend, came from Cape Town and Joburg, Natal. Used to be with Grant Cotson, and now I think this horse is coming back to form slowly. Last time out run well over a 1200 meter. I think over the 1400 meter might trouble the other horses. Has run also some higher classes, 103, 89, 88, 87, 89. So definitely a horse that you want to include in your play today. Right, then let's move on to the next race, and that is race number 8. Race number 8, it is another fillies and mares handicap. These fillies and mares handicaps, they are very difficult. Women, class B, 86. Because you have women, you never know what's going to happen. So let's see what we can tell you here. Here we got, quickly look at the betting first. The betting is Before the Dawn, 72, 92, Ocean City, Winter Watch, 11-2, Rainbow Race, 3-2, Ula, 9-1, Gold Image, 9-1, Madame Patrice, 10-1, and Longer the Field. Let's have a look at this race again here. Okay, here we got number 1, Winter Watch. I just want to quickly confirm our Class B, and it's 86 rating, average merit rating, Class B, 86. Guys, what I'm giving you is very important because this determines whether this horse that you like is up in class, same in class, down in class. And you know, there's a saying, you keep your horses in yourself in the best company, and you keep your horses in the worst company. So if you get horses that has got ability running down in class, they're always in with a good chance. So Winter Watch came after the break and it won. It won a 93 and has run against some better horses, but it's carrying 63.5. I think in that weight might be a little bit of a problem, but has got ability, can go in again. Then we got Ula. Now, Ula ran behind Winter Watch 1.5 lengths. But the thing is, the weight difference between Ula and Winter Match is 5.5 kilograms in favor of Ula. So that 5.5 kilograms might be enough for Ula to turn it around. Now, Ula herself has run against some very good horses. Look at it, 83, 81, 86, 100, 99, 102, 104. And the only really bad run was behind True to Life when she was slow into strike. Now, if you look at this, there she ran, never in it. Also in a future by Sing for Rafa. Sing for Rafa run third in a future over the weekend. So I would think the 5.5 would be enough for Ula to turn around the form on Winter Watch. And as such, for me, it's horse number 2 has got a very good chance. Too Fat to Fly came from Cape Town. Really won some decent races, but I think the 1,000 meters will be too short for him. But can surprise, but most probably not. See You Tiger won a few good races earlier last year in 2018. And then last year she won another 2 races, but this horse too seems to have lost her form. So wait for her to get back to form. Then number 5 Before the Dawn is also an oratoria, which is the favorite out of a VAAL mare. Has got the ability, has not run often in this class, but last time out was third behind Madame Patrice and Razam, but in a lower division. But if Kamala riding, do have a chance. Then I want to point you to this number 6 Nawazi. Number 6 Nawazi, he's way down in the betting, 14-1. But I really like those horses. He's also has ran against some stronger horses in the past. There behind Sarah, Fly Away, Nikki Nu. That was a future race. That was where Sing for Rafa won the race, but Nikki Nu objected and then got the race. But that was also run. Now, if you take that Sing for Rafa was second in that race. Sing for Rafa ran in a future over the weekend, running third against Celtic Sea. Then this put this horse in this race at a very good chance. So I can advise you, Nawazi, not to leave out of your play. Has run behind Winter Watch. Yeah, I think he's down a little bit in weight, and definitely because the merit rating has dropped from 88 to 86, and it was as high as 93 at one stage. So Nawazi, nice outsider to include into your play. Then Rainbow Ace, Paul Mashett has won a maiden and then run about against Gary Princess and All of Me. He's getting -2.5, can be involved in the finish. Ocean City, I see this owner recently changed stables to Waisha Marvin. Last week they had one winner already, and the Strydom on top after the rest can probably try and stay on. Has won some nice races. Ocean City, definitely for horse to include into your play. Madame Patrice was very consistent, always there and thereabouts, but running in a little bit higher class today. We'll have to wait and see if she can improve and be involved in a finish. Rasna did eat it with Madame Patrice earlier. So then let's now move on to race number 9. Race number 9 is a Phillies and Mares handicap again. 1,000 meters, Class D, 66. So let us look at the betting first. Here we got number 5, Claymores, 3-1, LA Blue, 5-1, Persica, 6-1, Philadelphia, which came in because of a scratching, 15-2, Mind Reader, 8-1, Wings of Honor, 11, Moggy Brown, 11-1, Scarlet Tiger, 14-1, Ponson's Charlie, 14-1, 16-1, Nymeria, and 25-1, the rest. So let's look at the form quickly. Number 1, Scarlet Tiger. It's a Captain out of a Duke of Marmalade Me. Very well bred. And did win its first race behind Nordy Queen. But then didn't run so well. But let's wait and see. Maybe after the break it can improve. And do include it in your play. Number 2, Oracle. That is a scratching. Then I like to look up number 3, Mind Reader. This horse has getting -2.5. It won its second race over 1,000 meters, and then behind Madame Patrice, 3 lengths behind in a higher division, and they again in a higher division. So now coming down in a lower division, and I think over the 1,200 meters might be a little bit far. So over 1,000 meters, I'm expecting a big run from number 3, Mind Reader. Ponce is always a horse, but I think at recent form might battle to win this race. Claire Morris is a 6-year-old mare. Roy Magna, Pierre Strydom, definitely in with a chance can come up and win. So it's a horse that you do need to include. Then Persica has run some fair races. Last time out over 1,200 meters, faded over the last 200 meters, and now over 1,000 meters will probably be a better suit. LA Blue last time out won a maiden after she battled. Not for me today. Number 8, All About Sophia, is also an ex-Kimberley horse. We'll have to wait and see. Number 9, Wings of Honor, also run some decent races. Can come up and surprise. Number 10, Nymeria, has beaten Clay Morris before, and is getting weight from Clay Morris. So, but Clay Morris beat that horse again. But definitely a horse that I would put into the back end of my quartets, and so on. Then number 11, Moggy Brown. This is a horse that has already won 4 races. Course and distance, 10 runs, 1 win, 1 second, and 1 third. Has changed stables now with Bar and Boertes. And also, Mr. F. Toy used to be a big Kimberley owner. I'm not sure if Barend has taken all of his horses or just some of it. But this horse is always there and thereabouts. Definitely a horse that you can include in your quartets and trifectas or whatever you play. Can improve. Has beaten Clay Morris as well. There was beaten by Clay Morris again. So there is horses that has beaten each other, but I would definitely include into my play. Then this horse number 12, Roxolana. That horse won at 80-1, and then I'm not sure what to make of this horse. I think that this horse might be a horse that has got some ability, but it never seems to run a place. But it did run an improved race behind towards the sun. Maybe a nice thing to go into the back end of your quartets just for in case. Speechmaker, there and thereabouts. Yeah, and then this number 14, Kimberley horse, now running here. We'll have to wait and see. Then number 15, Philadelphia. Please note that this horse comes into the race now, has run against some decent races, and plus minus this class like to go to the front. And keep in mind that these days with the hard going, horses going to the front sometimes is hard to catch. So that brings us to the end of our preview for the VAAL, and I hope you can have a few nice bets, and as I always say, break a leg.